physics fundamentals. Today we are going to discuss physics a little more in detail and talk about different kinds of physics. So, one of our objectives was to gain working knowledge of quantum physics. And quantum physics is the study of human energy. And so we are going to gain working knowledge of quantum physics through completing our BMI theory of who has healthy body weight within our classroom. So we are going to form a hypothesis, each and every one of us, as to how many individuals in the class meets the BMI body mass index, and how many individuals are outside of that body mass index weight. And we are going to do physics to figure out if our hypothesis is correct. So, as I mentioned before, there are different forms of physics. Besides quantum physics, there are other universities of physics. And universities or branches is what they are called. And these branches or universities allow scientists to specialize in their particular profession while using physics. So, while you are operating physics, you might operate under mechanics as well as quantum to figure out a particular variable outcome. So the main branches of physics are classical physics, optics physics, mechanics physics, acoustics physics, modern physics, quantum physics, nuclear physics, and atomic physics. Now, what they call nuclear is also referred to as chemistry. And another name would also be thermodynamic physics. And thermodynamic physics is exactly what it sounds like. Thermodynamic physics is using temperature to change the properties in a particular element. So, thermodynamic physics is used with any type of temperature change in an element. So, elements can be found on the periodic table, and heating or cooling these elements up in any particular way will change the property of an element. So we're going to take iron. Iron appears on the periodic table. Iron is found in all human beings. When you are born, the doctor will typically take an iron test to test the levels of iron and a newborn's blood. If the newborn needs more iron, they will prescribe a fortified iron supplement for the newborn. So maybe they will add iron to the newborn's formula. Iron can also come in a pure form or powder form where you can use it for a dietary supplement if you lack iron. Iron can also be used as a solid. So we think of amusement parks, railroad tracks, trains, transportation. All these things are made from iron. We think of the iron that you use to iron your clothes. As it heats up and it holds its property, it could burn through the clothes, but it would not burn itself. So iron is able to hold its own property and change the properties of other things around it. So if there was a fire, depending on the temperature of where the fire went to, everything would be gone and the iron would still be standing with smut on it. Then you have iron as a liquid. Iron as a liquid is what we call NOS or turbo. It is also considered hydraulic. And so what it does is it speeds up speed and it gives more power to power. And this can be used, it's popular in car shows where they will use hydraulic juice to hit switches in cars. So iron as a gas. So if you continue to heat iron up and it turns into a gas, iron then becomes what we call helium. And helium is what we use in hot air balloons. So as a gas, iron dissipates and it is able to lift us up and away. On the ground, as a liquid, iron gives turbo and power to wherever power is. Wherever there's speed, this hydraulic speeds it up even more. So on the periodic table, iron is identified as He, and it is a noble gas. And again, that is the periodic table's description of iron. As a gas, iron is considered to be what we call helium. So you'll be able to get a better understanding of thermodynamic physics and how that plays into physics and the universities of physics. So that is another form of physics, thermodynamic physics. And again, it has to do with heating and temperature and cooling and changing the properties in an element by temperature, by way of temperature. So we will again study more on the universities. You will need to know and identify at least 3 universities of physics, and this will appear on the final examination. We will also recap how to complete physics and the steps to do so, and then we will touch on Celsius versus Fahrenheit and know and understand the difference between Celsius and Fahrenheit and exactly at what degrees does water began to boil. And so we will learn those things and be able to understand those things better as we go on.